This is the Drive Live podcast. I'm Ben Pearson. Please like, subscribe, and follow for more content.
Just a heads up, guys, we cover a wide range of topics in this podcast, of which some viewers may find distressing. Hi guys, welcome back to the Drive Live podcast. Delighted to be at the Motorist, even more so to be joined by Ben Pearson. You'll have seen him on the TV on Police Interceptors, no doubt, as well as a plethora of other things. Welcome to the podcast, Ben.
Thank you for having me.
So those people who don't know who you are, can you just tell our listeners a bit about yourself?
Obviously, I'm not going to look at the camera. I'll look at yourself because you're very handsome.
More attractive. Yeah.
Ben Pearson, former cop from West Yorkshire, 19 years in service. I used to be one of the main figures on Police Interceptors, Channel 5, from series 15 to, I think it was 18/19. A bit on Traffic Cops, and then I medically retired and then went on to Channel 5 presenting Clear and Present Danger, Hell on the Highway, Caught on Camera, Spec Ops. There's a big list.
Pretty much everything.
Yeah. Police-wise,
pop on TV,
yeah, police and crime-wise.
Yeah,
just while we're here, can we tell everyone that there's bugs everywhere and I'm always...
We can, yeah. So, funnily enough, we're obviously at the Motorist in Yorkshire, and it is absolutely cracking the flags outside. And I think the harvesting, there are millions of thunderbugs about, and if you think we've got a bit of a tick, we know we haven't.
So yeah, did that, and then fell into social media, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook and that sort of thing. So that's my sort of like life now. And I still work on TV, still do social media, so that's where you might recognise my ugly mug from.
I won't say ugly.
Well, you know, I'll ask us.
We'll talk about that. So you mentioned there about joining police 19 years ago, did you say?
Yeah, 2001 I joined.
Yeah, 2001.
I did 19 years, so it's like 25 years ago I joined.
So what were you doing before that?
Motorcycle salesman.
Yep.
Alan Jeffries Motorcycles, BMW.
BMW dealer.
Yep. Working for the Jeffries family, obviously the late Tony and the late DJ.
Yeah.
And then before that, I were a tileless stroke golf course greenkeeper. Obviously not in the same branch.
I've never seen a tile golf course.
Yeah, I didn't put a tile on a golf course, but I worked between my dad's company and then went back to the golf course and went back to my dad's company golf course, and that was my sort of trade.
Yeah.
But moved to Spain, came back, and I said, right, I want to do something completely different. Love motorcycles, and then I started working down there as a salesman. So, good morning, Alan Jeffries. That were it, yeah.
So, what made you get into the police from that then? Was there a certain switch in your life? Or?
Yeah, so everyone that came in at that moment in time, BMW were a bit of an unknown make and model on the motorcycle front. And long way around came with Ewan McGregor and the GSs, and it flooded the market. Everyone that sort of like came in to buy a bike was a policeman, and they'd sit down and talk to me about my present, what I was doing there and then, but obviously what I wanted to do in future. And the majority of bosses, inspectors, chief inspectors, superintendents came in and they said they think I've got the right attitude. Joined 2001, went to Bishopgarth, and I did about 4 years on patrol, 4.5 years on patrol. Taught some other officers how to be officers, tutor constable, and I really enjoyed it. Then one day, boss came in and says, "We're opening traffic applications. We think you should join." All my friends that I joined with then went to the firearms unit and what's called the ACT team now, which is basically our SWAT, counter-terrorism unit and that sort of thing. Put my application in for traffic, got in, but it was different to what you see now. It wasn't the Interceptors, it wasn't the all-action combat pants kind of thing. It was the Shiny Shoe Brigade. We all drove T5s, slacks on, shirt tie. Flat cap. And it was the proper, when you got out and you put your cap on, it meant someone's going to be prosecuted. You would do your own grandmother. There were no leniency. It was black and white. And those days have obviously changed. Now we've had to adapt in regards to where it's policed and in regards to where you service your community as well. So yeah, 19 years on in job, 15 and a half roughly on traffic. And it's probably the best thing I've ever done with my life. I've seen more than people would ever see. I've done more than a lot of people ever do. And I've loved it. I really did enjoy my career. Did
you go straight into being a bike cop then, or were you into cars at that point?
No, so it's that's like a bit like Dead Man's Shoes, kind of. It's a part of the elite of the elite.
There's only so many bikes there.
Yeah. So cars straight away, and obviously your job then is tactical pursuit. So you train in pursuits, containment, burglary initiatives, working alongside people like MI5, border agencies, your intel units, GCHQ, is that right? GCHQ, whatever it is. All these other intelligence agencies, because they might say, right, someone's coming up M1, 50 kilograms of cocaine, so to speak. We want the vehicle stopping. It might lead to a pursuit. So you do all that sort of work, but then these little roles come up. Would you like to be part of the motorcycle escort group? So you escort the Prime Minister, the Queen, or as it was then, the royal family when they come up. You're a biker, we need bikers. And then you do your advance ticket.
And is that literally from border to border then? So you would sort of meet, I don't know, is it Greater Manchester Police at the border, and then you would escort them through West Yorkshire?
Yes.
And then North Yorkshire would take over. And
I know what you're saying.
Does it work like that?
No, it doesn't, because what happens is it's so protected. Let's say the Prime Minister will fly into Leeds Bradford Airport.
Yep.
You'll all be sat there, you'll have your planned route to go, and it won't be more than probably 4 stops in West Yorkshire, all specifically timed for that time, that location, straight back to airport, and they're gone. Mm-hmm. And it's one of those roles where, just say, for instance, they might say, oh, we're going to go to Motorist. We'll pick up at Leeds Bradford Airport, and we'll go to Motorist. And they'll say, just say, now we're on 10 to 11 or 5 to 11. They say, you've got to be there at 11:54 on the dot, and you might be coming down the road now. Mm-hmm. You can't have it. The CPO, the bodyguard won't have it, so you put in a loop. So you've now got to think about, I need to put in a 3-minute loop. How do I get a 3-minute loop from where I am? And that's why you've got bikers from this sort of like area or know the area. But you won't cross probably into someone else's division. However, there is work like Tour de France, big things that happen, the Olympics, where you'd all be called, they'll do a force responding, you'll all be called to a certain area, and then you will be working with people from different units.
Well, I'm guessing the team leader would be local to that area, the area, like the back of the hand, and you'd be answering to them. And
so the one in front of the sort of like the VIP is called the pilot rider, and they're the ones that are the best knowledge, the best rider, the local knowledge, and they will be dictating to everybody else that's on the bikes, obviously, which route we're going to go on. And then you might have someone at the front there that's an expert in, I were an expert, say, in Bradford. So when we came into Bradford, I'll be shouting down, well, I won't say shout, but I will you tell people down at Helmet which roads you need to be going on, where the next road is, because you can't know all the geographical area. You can't know Bradford, Huddersfield, Halifax, Leeds City Centre, Adel, all that.
It always amazes me, the taxi drivers in London doing the knowledge.
Yeah.
That's just an insane amount of...
Yeah, it's bananas. But not only that, you've got old each feature, so every roundabout, every junction, every crossroads, every traffic lights, you've got to hold them. There's only, say, 6 bikes, and then you've got to get past the VIP, so you're driving at 60, 70 miles an hour, feature, and it's hard work. It really is hard work, but it put me off riding for years.
Didn't it?
Yeah, it put me off riding for years.
Why?
Because it was so stressful at the time. It's fun, it's probably the best job you'll ever get in the police, but it's just so stressful at the time, and I had other things going on in my life. I was struggling mentally. My dad was really poorly with terminal cancer, and then every time I went on it, the pressure was just overwhelming, because you get told as well, we've got the Prime Minister behind you. They can't stop. If I'm not being funny, but imagine you lead them down the wrong road, and they get
down a dead end of the cul-de-sac.
And then next thing you know, they either get, there's an attempt, or they try to get hijacked, whatever. Then it's your fault. There's a lot of pressure, and you're technically looking after those people at Royal Family, and the pressures are overwhelming, and that's why at the time I broke.
Did you enjoy the bike riding more than car driving in the police?
They were on a par with each other. So when we're doing football matches, you'd be able to escort Premier League footballers from the venues. It was brilliant. It was fantastic. When it's raining, it's not good, because you've still got to sit there. You've still got to wait in rain outside when they're playing in matches. When it's a sunny day like this and you've got all your tactical gear on, you're melting. Well, because you can't ride.
We've mentioned already, it's one of the hottest days of the year. Ben's turned up on his bike with all his bike gear on and regretting it.
Yeah, you can't ride around in shorts and t-shirt. So when it's nice days, nice normal day, it's brilliant. But then you can do same in the car. So 50-50, but I wouldn't ever... The job itself was brilliant. It was really, really good. And it's one of those ticks you can go, I've done that. And I enjoyed it at the time as well.
In a car then, what were the perks? What were the best days in a car? I mean, I can only imagine some of the worst days. I'm sure we'll touch on that shortly. You know, the high of highs, best days in a police car. What are we talking?
So the best days you can work, and this was for me, were either a night or a weekend late. And imagine it, sun's going down, it's still a warm night, so roads are warm, tyres are warm, it's very grippy, it's a good drive, views are really advanced, so they're really far ahead, so to speak, and then you get a good job. So you're just getting all your gear in your car, you're about to set off, you're in a high-powered BMW or a high-powered VXR or something, and then log will come in, X-ray Romeo 52, we've got a stolen car, just been taken in a burglary, or it's just been used in an armed robbery. It's, just say for instance now, it's Shipley coming in towards Bradford City Centre A650. We're now watching it on City Watch. And you know, this is a live job.
So at that point, your adrenaline starts going?
No, this is...
So you learn to keep that in check, do you?
Your adrenaline doesn't go then.
Yeah.
So you literally get in the car, your radio, you get where you need to go, and it's when you see the vehicle, that's when you start to get a peak. And it's a really bizarre... You can't... The only people I've said I'll ever explain this are either pursuit specialists, so you'll have firearms that do it, or traffic that do it, or the criminals themselves. Because you see the vehicle, the criminal looks at you, you look at the criminal, and it's that matter of, I'm just going to pull over, my bottle's gone. And that's what a lot of them can do. Mm-hmm. Or a lot of them, visor goes down, drop a gear, and then they're off. And
what's that percentage? You know, can you put a number on it? Or does it...
Yeah, probably 99% go. The only ones that sort of like want to stop are the ones that are either driving the vehicle because they've been paid to drive the vehicle. They're not a criminal, but they'll pay someone out of work. Normally it's someone that's on drugs and they need a fix. So they'll say, right, I'll give you £100 to drive this vehicle from here to here. And if you get stopped, you're on your own. And a lot of them will say, I'm not gonna chance it. Your organised crime group, your big nominals go all day long. And then your chances go all day long because they want something to prove. And it's that moment you get your adrenaline spike, but it goes straight up, then it comes straight back down, and it plateaus. And you feel it instantly. And it's quite hard to explain, but you know, right, this vehicle's going to go, you put your lights on, and it sets off. Goes up, goes down, and then for some strange reason, I can't tell you how it works, but you just settle in. You know from doing, you said you do rally driving, you know when you just connect with the vehicle, and instantly your comms are on, your observations are on, and it's what gets me now. There'll be so many people watching this now. Rubbish, I've seen police cars crash, I've seen this, I've seen that. Yeah, you've seen, because you drive probably 250,000 miles a year, you're driving at high speed, majority all the time. It is gonna
high pressure.
It is gonna. You are chasing stolen cars. It's never not gonna happen. It is gonna happen because you are doing something that no one else can do. But then when the pursuit starts and your X-ray Romeo 52 vehicle is now failing to stop, we are now left. Authorisation for tactical pursuit authority, please. I'm aware of my obligations. Can I have helicopter? Can I have dog? By this time you're 110 miles an hour in 30 zone. So you're now driving, and your driving is a second thing. And you've got to understand that if you look at the majority of people now driving at 40 and a 40, 50 and 50, and you just said, their driving's shocking. You've got to drive at 110 at a higher standard, as an advanced level as you know you're an instructor now. So you've got to drive at that instructor level all the time, doing comms, thinking about road traffic law, your road traffic knowledge, your geographical knowledge of where you're going and what's going to be going on, and then putting a plan into place at the same time. I know Dave's 4 streets away at Valley Road. I know Warren is coming in from Halifax on Brighouse Road. I know Fez is behind me playing catch-up. Vehicle's now gone Friesnall Road. I've now got to say to MPAS and the dogman, you need to go to this location because we might be thinking and you try and do that at, say, 110 miles an hour in a 30 mile an hour limit, thinking of the law and doing your comms, it's very, very hard to do.
It is like spinning 20 plates at once, but extremely fast.
Yeah.
Whilst doing something ridiculously dangerous.
Yeah.
When you're doing your training then, are you taught to keep that adrenaline and everything under control?
Yeah.
Or is it just something you naturally learn over a period of time?
A bit of both. So when you do your training, if you can't keep yourself calm, you'll fail your training. Your advanced training is, I've said it to certain people, they say, what's it like? Think about the day you passed your driving test. Think about the stress and the pressure you had and what you had to go through for 40 minutes in your driving test. Now imagine doing that for 8 hours a day, 4 weeks in total, but at 100 mile an hour. And that's how
That's the level
that's
it is. Yeah.
how you've got to be switched on.
Yeah.
And what they'll do is you'll go through first week and then you can see the ratio go down. 20 might start and then end at first week you've got 12 left and it just goes down and down and down.
So at the end of a 4-week course, what have you got left?
You might have, out of 20, you're out of 20, you might have 8 left.
Right.
And they're the ones that are technically the cream of the crop for them. But then you've got to go out and pass your T-pack afterwards. That's not straight away, but that might be 4 months down the line. Then you've got to be constantly at that level because if you have a prang in that car, you go straight back to driver training, they look at the footage, figure out, is it your fault? Is it a slight error of judgment? Is it a massive due care? Is it dangerous driving? Should you really be on traffic? Are they going to pull you off? Then you've got your T-pack. Your T-pack's all trained on a real
So you have to
road.
do that again?
Yep, and you've got to do your driving course all the time, every year. You've got to do a refresher, your T-pack refresher, and then your bike course is an extra 4 or 5 weeks on top of that. Then you've got to do your Vipex refreshers, which is the Royal Out, constant courses. And what really, when I put a post out on social media and there's people that are watching this, is that all you do? And you're like, yeah, but you've only passed one course. When did you are you a bike rider?
Yes.
When did you pass your motorbike course?
15 years ago.
Would you pass it today?
Probably not.
And then you've got to ride at that level constantly all the
8
time.
hours a day, at twice the speed.
Yep. But what gets me is your sergeants that are on your team and behind you. They are your friends, but they're a work colleague and they're your sergeants. But if you're sergeant, so we had one called Gary, really nice lad on motorbikes, really highly qualified, top of the food chain. But if you were doing outriding and your level were falling below all the other riders, Gary would have you in office. And if you want up to it, because at that moment when I did mine, I'll tell you in a bit why I got kicked off, it pulled me in office and says, what's going on? And I told him, and then he came to my traffic office and says, sorry, Ben, you're gone.
You're gone.
Yeah, and it's like...
it's that level you have to maintain.
Yep.
If you're not at that level,
Nope.
then you're a danger to yourself, public, your colleagues, to everybody.
And everyone will have this point of view now, well, I've seen this, I've seen that, police can't do this, police can't ride that. I put a video out the other day about this BMW, and nearly every comment on it, what police can't ride that. So you're telling me, with all these hours of training, all these training courses to go through, and not only that, we're bikers outside, so I've had a bike, I've rode since I was 3 years old. Mm-hmm. I've been on roads since I was 18. I've had my big bike since I was 21. I've bought and sold motorbikes for the last 25 years. There's not one bike that I really haven't ridden. I used to be a motorcycle salesman. I used to go out riding with David Jeffries, who TT winner.
Yeah, I remember
I'm an advanced motorcyclist. I've raced supermoto. I've done track days, but people out there say you're not qualified to ride that bike. But they've passed a test 15 years ago, and they go out on a Sunday afternoon on an R1, and they will educate you in how to ride. And I think it's a very bizarre world out there.
I think it's the same in a lot of walks of life as well.
Yeah.
Not just bike riding, car driving. I think it's the same in a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of keyboard warriors out there.
Yeah. And I thought when I joined the job, because what it is, the lead instructor will take you out on a bike course for an hour to see if you've got basically the minerals to be able to do it. So if you've never ridden a BMW RT, they're a big bike. Luckily, I work for BMW, so I rode them all the time.
Yeah.
And I were happy moving the bike around. But first thing you do is you go to a motorcycle unit, and he says, right, have you got your helmet, your gloves, your normal civvies, your helmet, your gloves, your boots? Yep, I'm here. Right, take bike off the stand, push it over there. And you're like, people go, I've never used an RT. I've never, it's a twin. I've always had an inline four. I don't know where indicators. That's not my problem. That's your problem. You should have done a bit of research. Yeah. So you can see him pushing it off stand. It's 250 kilos.
Big things.
And then they're trying to manoeuvre it, they throw a leg over it. And even me as a biker, I thought I could ride. And then I sit on it, I end up going, and he pulls it back in. He says, yeah, you've got enough to be trained for bike unit. we'll put you through the course. And I had this lad called Chris. Chris comes here all the time, comes to our events, and he was one of the best.
Does he ride a BMW?
He rides a lot, this Chris.
Quite a tall guy.
Yeah.
I've met him. Yeah, nice fella.
Lovely bloke is Chris.
Yeah.
Chris was my instructor.
Okay.
And then I went out, and first day you go out, and as you do, you're on police motorbike, you're in alt police gear. But yeah, I'm not being funny, but you swell, your head's out there, your man sack's grown, everything like that. Mum. Yeah, and then when you're pulling out, and you're like, check me out. And within 5 minutes, he's saying, this is where now I'm seeing your weaknesses. An hour in, it's like, you are shocking. 2 hours in, you're like,
why am I doing this?
Yeah, I'm starting to think, 3 hours in, I'm fatigued then, and it's like, you've got another 6 hours. And they might say, just there, for instance, we're at Wakefield, so everyone that's listening, I'll give you an example. We're at Wakefield, and he says, right, let's go to Brid. You've got 45 minutes to get to Brid. It's like that. And you're like, hang on a minute. This is my first time on again, I was lucky because I'd worked at BMW. This is my first time on a twin RT with boxes on, how big it is. You've literally knocked me down for 3 hours, and now you're telling me I've got 45 minutes to get to Brid. And say, get your blue lights on. Now, it's not that we haven't used blue lights. We've used them in car. We've been in traffic for 10 years. We're advanced drivers, so you know how to position your car. But then you're on bike, and it's like, go. And then there's comms. Right, now let's start thinking about you, right. And then what they do is they knock you down and build you back up bit by bit. So you learn, hang on a minute, this is how you corner properly. Mm-hmm. This is how you do throttle control properly. This is how you do your observations properly. But you can't just go, I'm a biker. You've got to do your car and be an advanced driver and be good at advanced driving and have your observations, your planning, everything into order. Then you can go on a bike, because otherwise it won't work. So you're not just a motorcyclist that's never done anything and throwing you on a bike and telling you to ride crazy. You've got to be at that level in a car and good in a car.
Is it easier to teach in a car just because of the environment? They can sit next to you and talk to you while they're instructing. Whereas obviously you're on an intercom on a bike, but is it just easier sat in a car learning? Or?
So I said this to you before about someone passing the advanced car test. I think it's easier on a bike because bikers are bikers.
Yep.
I think there's a big world out there between, because someone passes a car test, they're not a driver. Where someone passes a bike test, they're a biker. There's a big difference in that. You look at any motorcycle rider, they've got something that they want to do differently to a car driver. Now, again, I explained it to you earlier on, there were a gentleman that passes advanced driving course, and he says, I'm an advanced driver. But he just says, but I'm not a car driver. I've passed it, I've done the nods, I've done the smiles, I've hit the targets, but I'm not a driver. It's not bred into me to drive fast, and I don't enjoy it. But he says, I can be an advanced driver.
Tick the boxes.
Yeah, but not that. Where a motorcyclist
wants to be.
Yeah, is still a motorcyclist. So you think about things differently. So for me, it were easier. Because on a car course, you've got someone sat back as well. So you've got your instructor in front, and you've got another pair of eyes. Yeah, and every time you look at rear view mirror, you've got someone else's eyes looking at you, judging you as well. And it's quite hard. And the only other thing as well, when you drive, you can become lethargic, tired. When you have something to eat, in back, you can start nodding off. And it becomes norm going to Scotland at 130 miles an hour, nodding off in back seat while your oppo does alt driving. On a bike, you've got nowhere to go. It's you and the bike. You've got to be on it. Yeah. So it's shattering. On the last week of my course, I physically couldn't walk because my gooch and my ass was so sore from the bike. I was having to walk to bike.
Like John Wayne.
Oh, God. And throwing my leg over, and I'm like, this is agony. Because you're spending 8 hours a day in saddle and 8 hours a day at 100 odd mile an hour, but you can't. People say now that'll be listening to this going, but that's just dangerous. But you don't live in that world. You're a civilian.
You're not trained to do that.
Yeah, you're a civilian. You don't understand how it... Yeah. That's like going into army and then them being taught how to shoot a gun, and you go, well, you can't do that. It's dangerous. Yeah, but they're in the army. Helicopter pilots in RAF, the police have got to drive fast, escort the Queen, the King now, escort the Prime Minister, do VIP protection, get to blue light runs. They've got to learn. Where do you want them to learn? And you've got to learn.
Got to do it.
Yeah.
I'm a great believer in, I think everybody who does their car test should have to spend an hour on the back of a motorbike with somebody, with an advanced rider, showing them what motorbikes have to do on the road, and sat in an HGV.
Yeah.
And it would give them a whole new vision of what they have to do on the road.
Yeah.
Because people are blinkered to it. They don't appreciate the differences in different, they jump in a car, pass my car test, right, I'm off I go.
And I'm a good driver because I've passed my DSA approved test, which is the bottom of the run saying you are legally safe.
That
no
ticket
training.
is, right, you can start learning now.
Yeah, exactly. But the amount of people I have in my car, as I was saying, I've taught my neighbours' kids to drive, and I'm still teaching my business partners' kids to drive. The amount of people I can get in a car straight away, and I'm not the best driver in the world because now I just think I'm a normal person now. Now I don't think of myself as the traffic cop. Now I'm not in the job anymore. It's fine. I'm just Ben. But I sit in the car and I say, for instance, have you thought about doing it? I didn't think about that. Just tell me where you're looking now. I'm looking at car in front. Well, why are you not looking over hill? I didn't know that. And you can say, well, you're meant to be a driver. Well, I passed my test. Yeah, but you're not. And what gets me is people get to that level of testing and
think that's it, I'm done.
Yeah, and the arm goes up window and they don't have to improve. The difference between I had an argument once with a firearms cop and a traffic cop. It was really funny because the firearms cop went, well, once we passed his advanced course, we're advanced drivers. And I said, yes, you are. And you're really good at what you do. The difference between that and a traffic cop is the traffic cop gets in the car every day and wants to better himself from the day he was yesterday. That's the hard thing to do because what we'll do is we'll have a pursuit and I say you're my oppo and you'll sit beside me. You'll start, after the pursuit, when we're having a debrief, you'll criticise. Right, tell us about when we went in from A650 into Valley Road. Oh, yeah, I got that bit wrong, didn't I? I went too far over. Yeah, your lines were a little bit
What could you do about
out of it. And it were always better when you had a manual because rather than a DSG, because what they do is say, I were thinking that were more of a third gear corner. And what you should have done is just do a bit more sustained braking, cut your line a bit easier. But you went in fourth and you didn't tap your brake a little bit. Well, and you had that debrief. So the next time you're coming in that corner, you're like fourth gear. Yeah, you think,
right,
John said go to third gear here. So I put it in third gear, just touch a little bit of brake, a bit of sustain, and you think, that handle's a lot better. So now I know that's a third gear corner. But when we changed to BMWs and DSG, you couldn't really do that.
You don't know what gear you're in. Well, the passenger doesn't know what gear you're in, does it?
And then when you're using your paddles, it's a little bit of it's a different feel of a drive. You can still do it, but it's not as easy as what you do. But it's learning development. Everything's a learning development. And yes, you look at news, Bobbies have got it wrong, but you can't put that much. It's like a pilot. A pilot puts 10,000 hours into flying a Boeing. At one point, he might have an accident. Doesn't mean he's a bad pilot. It's just that the amount of hours he's putting in, the amount of flying they're doing, chances of something happening. Yeah. And
it's statistics.
Yeah. And then when we say, well, when was the last time you were chasing a car with 4 burglars in it that had just robbed someone of their life savings and were making off? Well, I've never done it. Well, if you've never done it, how could you criticise what it'd be like? Well, cars should only be registered at 70 mile an hour. Yes, but when you're chasing an RS3 that goes 170 miles an hour and they want to get away and they're approaching 10 miles away at school on a Friday afternoon, do you put that to bed beforehand or risk them going through a school crossing at 100 miles an hour?
Yeah, they don't think about that.
No.
You have to think about,
So that's the life of a traffic cop.
Yeah, sounds interesting. Have you downloaded the Drive Life app? It's the ultimate social media for petrol heads. Discover events, document your automotive journey, and share photos and videos along the way. Download the app today, free of charge. It's available on the Google and Apple stores. I'm gonna cut to the end of your police career then, if I can. I mean, it's out there, there's nothing to hide. I mean, am I right in saying you got 8 commendations for bravery and other things while you were on the force? Yeah,
so 8 commendations for bravery and outstanding work in crime, detection of crime, just things like advancing on robberies. So there were like a spate of robberies. And what some people would do, I'm not saying who, but some people would say, right, I've crimed it, I've done enough. I went that little bit further. And I did more of an area search than what other people would do. And then I always end up catching these people. And I'd catch them in the act, foot chase, bit of a restaurant floor. And then it just seemed like everything I was doing, I felt like I'm succeeding it. And my career were really good. 2 judges' commendations for arresting a murderer and arresting a child rapist that had done a lot of bad things to a lot of young children. And I caught him trying to pick up a young girl from a school, trying to kidnap this girl. And then one more Royal Humanitarian Award I got put forward for that, for pulling 4 out of a burning car. Now, it didn't help that I pursued the car 3 minutes earlier. they hit a tree and rolled on its side and it set on fire, but don't make off. Don't be in a stolen car.
I get it, and I get that's a bit of almost a mind melt, because you want to stop these people, and, you know, obviously without using violent means, but if it ends in a chase like that, is that really your doing?
No, it's someone in office will say it is, but no, and someone that's independent will say that they might not like police. They'll say it is, but you've got to understand this world is full of bad people. And I'll give you this, and again, I don't know how far we can go with these things. So we might want to cut out these people that we pursue. Members of the public say, well, if you didn't pursue them, they wouldn't make off. These people would drive like that regardless. They have driven like that. They would knock you over or knock your child over and kill them, then make off. They will burn the clothes, burn the car, and do anything not to be caught. And 2 young lads were in a car. We were nothing to do with this. It were 9 o'clock in the morning. They were going through the city centre of Bradford on the wrong side of the road at 80 miles an hour, just for a bit of fun. These are the people that we try and get off the roads. And people say, oh, stop being a party pooper, it's only a bit of fun. Elderly gentleman got off a bus, crossed over the first lane, and because he was on the second lane, he was looking left at the traffic coming towards him. These lads were on the wrong side of the road. The victim gentleman, 80, he's been killed instantly, thrown down the road. He's lived all his life. He's a great bloke. He's done a lot. I think he was a teacher. Killed instantly. And first thing they ask is this going to be on TV? They were getting booked into cells with his brains on their body, and all they wanted to do was be famous. That is the attitude of the people that we're trying to catch. And everyone says, you shouldn't be doing this, you shouldn't be doing that, defund the police. These people will drive like this regardless. They will always make you the victim. And then people just can't see it. They're walking around with the blinkers on.
If it happened to a member of their family, they'd have a completely different...
Oh, yeah.
Completely different.
Yeah.
What do you put that down to? Do you put it down to the fact that when they end up in court, they get the wrist slap, they get a £25 fine, and 50 hours of community work, and then off you go?
Yeah. There's not enough sentencing guidelines anymore. There's not enough strict sentencing. Death by dangerous driving, I think, holds 14 years, which in theory is murder. By you murdering someone with a car, or 14 years.
And what's the sentence of murder?
Well, life in prison.
Life in prison. Minimum usually.
Yeah.
20-something,
so,
isn't it?
Young kids, terrorising that road in an hour street, wrong side road, more of a 4-year-old child, maximum they could get is 14 years. That young child's never going to be alive again. So what they'll do is we'll sentence them all like 4 years. The sentencings are kitted out. So what we've got old sentencing laws for when people are driving Model T Fords or Ford Angulars, and now we've got RS3s and A45 AMGs being terrorised through Bradford with same guidelines. And there's nowhere...
It doesn't equate,
no,
does it?
There's nowhere to put them. There's nowhere to lock these people up because prisons are full. There's not enough of a stamp on it. Then what will happen is they'll disqualify someone from driving, but he's already disqualified. And he's already driving up wrong side road, so I don't think the law of him being disqualified is really the issue.
That always makes me laugh. It's like, oh yeah, just on a car chase through Bradford, but watching Interceptors, and you think he's just got 40 months locked up, and he's been banned for 12 months. Well, does the ban start when he comes out?
No.
I bet it runs concurrent, doesn't it?
And
so what's the point?
There's no point banning people anymore because driving licences are just a card. It's like I've said, AMPR needs to change because it's just a number plate. Take the number plate off. Put another plate on. How would we know?
It's incognito.
Yeah. So having a disqualification doesn't work unless you had something like you all had a personal device like a driving licence and you had to scan it on the car for the car to start. But then we're looking at then something else had happened. Someone would start importing these fake driving licences. Someone would getting paid for it. Then they'd say it's a big brother state. But if people don't want this, just let people drive in because you're never going to combat that. And the bad people...
It's always going to be a cat and mouse.
Yeah. The bad people will always still drive. So even if you disqualify people, it doesn't stop them driving the car. And I don't know an answer for it, but nothing's going to change unless you build, and I'm not saying it's the answer, you build a massive super prison, you put everyone in that's a bad person, and then the disqualified drivers that hurt people, kill people, all go to one unit, and then you make it really hard for them. But then you're talking about human ethics, and that's just a rabbit hole you don't want to go down.
I don't want to pursue that rabbit hole, but I will mention really briefly, did you see the Richard Madeley documentary on the big prison in South America?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just
a lot of people in one room. And,
wow. Yeah, I mean, literally hundreds of people. None of them spoke. I can't remember which country it was.
I saw it, yeah, because it's cut down crime, so much crime, isn't it?
It's wiped crime out.
Yeah.
There was thousands of murders a month, and I think there's now one.
Yeah.
You know, it really has transformed the country. People say, oh, it's against the human rights, blah, blah, blah. Well, don't murder people then.
Yeah. It's not hard to behave.
No.
And that's what gets me back. Everyone thinks now, on the comments I put on videos I put on Facebook, Nazi, prison state, you know what I mean? So-and-so, this is what so-and-so did. You're unfun, this, that, you're part of a two-tier corporation. And it's like, why can't you just
abide by the laws?
Abide by the law. And it's laws have been in place for thousands of years. It's not hard. But now people think that those laws don't abide to them. And this is what I can go through life, I can do what I want, and I shouldn't have to have a punishment for it. Because
the punishments are so slack,
yeah,
they're prepared to take that risk and get away with it, aren't they?
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, we could talk about it all day long, couldn't we? But we're not going to change anything Saturday. No. So we'll tick that one off, talked about it, and move on swiftly. Looking for your new favourite t-shirt or hoodie? Head to the Drive Life store and discover a range of automotive-inspired clothing. Use the link in the show notes below and enter podcast 10 at checkout for 10% off. Best police car you've driven?
So I have this all the time, Christine.
Christine, a life of her own, like the film.
Christine was my 2.8 turbo Vectra.
Okay.
Now, we called her Christine because the first Christine, which was in the traffic office at Keighley, was an old T5. And I can't remember, it might have been YJ55 EFF or something like that, registration. And it literally had a mind of its own. No word of a lie, you could go outside and it started itself. You'd be in a pursuit at 150 miles an hour and it just nothing had happened. It just boom.
Just turn off.
Yeah. Then all of a sudden you go, please. I'm not saying it well, but it was just like time. And then it'd just come back to life. You know, it just, some days it wouldn't want to steer. So everyone like took the mick and called it Christine as a joke from the film. I loved that car. And that car went to car heaven at one point. And then one day I walked back in and my sergeant says, he had this bit of your new car's outside. And I went, oh God, here we go. And I walked out and sat there as this Vectra, YJ58 TXW. And if cars could speak, car looked at me and went, hello. and, and you're like, and I was like,
yeah,
hi.
You and me are going to get on.
Yeah, this is going to be a good relationship. And I sat inside and and the reason I called it Christine is because it got me out of so many jams of doing things like, you listen to all these people, Clarkson, they understeer, they do this. That car was brilliant. That car just couldn't do anything wrong. You could put it through a brick wall sideways and it'd come out of the side and it'd be like Kit from Knight Rider.
Just dust it.
It'd just be like, is that all you've got? You'd be involved in tactical pursuits, ramming cars, and it'd just be literally like, give me more. And it was just a brilliant all-round car. But there were, as in, just say for instance, I remember on this job on Leeds Ring Road and I was outside of a bandit car and I was trying to push it into railings, and there was a car coming up and there was box going on. And you know when you're like, oh God, this is going to hurt, and you do that little bit of a wincy face, and all of a sudden you look up and you've gone past one car, you've gone past another car, and Christine's literally shrunk by 3.5 inches to get you through the gap. Yeah, and then you get through the gap over the side and it just expands. It felt like...
Give her a pat on the dashboard.
Yeah, and it felt like the car looked after you. And I think it was one of the last cars you could get in and sort of like have a relationship with the car. So back to what we're saying about your third gear corners and stuff, you be in... So that car would go 170 miles an hour. I once had it up to a certain speed... chasing a Ferrari that made off from me, and it just kept on going and going and going. But sometimes it'd just give you this little bit of a shake, and you'd be like, "What's wrong? Are you all right?" And it a little bit more of a shake, and you could feel. I know it sounds stupid. You could feel the car, and you get out and check, and it just might have had an ailment in tyre, and it's something you'd you'd have found it's just something like...
Because the car did something, you're like, oh, I'll have a look.
Yeah, and I'll have a look. Then we've gone into these BMWs and it's like technology sort of like taken over. Does that make sense?
Yeah, they're almost a bit numb, a bit too clinical.
Now, don't get me wrong, the M340, everyone said it's the best pursuit car they've ever had. 300 odd brake horsepower, 375 brake horsepower. One of the best driving cars, but then it like these cars, old school cars, the old GSI Vectras and stuff, they talk to you, they talk to you about handling, and when you messed up, it'd be like, it's all right, I've got you, and little bits and bats on car, and that was the car, and I've smashed it up a few times, but then when they come to the quarter, they go, and then I've got a few photos, I can't remember what it was, it might have been 2012, 2013, a few people sent me, and I had a flip-up phone then, photos of it. Oh, this is at auction, this is on eBay, this has gone here, and you know when you look at it, you're like,
oh, should I?
It's a bit like my old girlfriend that's cheated on you, and you're like, I'd have you back.
Have you got a tattoo of Christine?
No, I've got so ironically, the person who does all the photo, the pop band colour, who does all the Ian, who does all the images downstairs, he's going to do me one on a skateboard. He's going to do me the image. Brilliant. And he's coming to Cops and Cars, and I'm going to get him to do it there and then.
Awesome.
That's my baby.
Yeah.
I don't know where she is, but she's in Caravan. There's going to be people watching this now going, he's right on ball, isn't he?
On your mantelpiece at home,
I have.
Love heart with a picture.
A man's made me a mini one.
Really?
And he sent it to me, and it's an identical replica, VXR, in a glass box, same number on roof. It's got every single thing. It's identical match, and I'm like, it's on my thing at home, and no one goes near it.
So, in the traffic department, when you start your shift, do you always have the same car?
So this is how it gets a bit funny now, because there'll be cops listening to this.
Are you going, no, I want that?
So everyone had their own car, and everyone had their favourite. So people said, don't take TXW, that's Benz. And they wouldn't have it. But if I came on, someone could have it on earlies. I came on late, so I'd have it. But then it got to a point where when a car went to car heaven, they might issue you then a right bag of crap. So you come in and you'd have a single turbo Volvo that just couldn't pull skin off custard. Then you'd thought, well, there's a VXR sat there, that's plain. So your Volvo then had no miles on it. So people start complaining them. I think we had one Volvo, all of the cars had like 110,000 miles on, Volvo had like 1,200 miles on. No one wanted to drive it. So then you got an allocation policy where the sergeant the night before would allocate you the car, and whatever it was, you'd come in and you'd have to drive. That worked for a little bit. The only downside for that is every division area is different. So we covered West Yorkshire, so you had Bradford City Centre, but I were Airedale. So I covered, like, you might not know the area, but I covered everywhere from Shipley, Menston, Ilkley, Burley and Wharfdale, Silsden-Steaton, fast roads. And there were a lot of undulations, there were a lot of urban, there were a lot of rural, but a lot of fast roads. The Volvo wasn't a good car to have there.
Couldn't cope with it.
No, what you wanted to have a good, quick pursuit vehicle. So the BMWs worked, the VXRs worked, and things like that. Even the X5s did work, because obviously where we were. But the Volvos didn't. But the Volvos had worked really well in Halifax, because there wasn't a lot of pursuits in Halifax. There were some nice roads, but more city centre driving.
You didn't need that instant speed.
Yeah. And then we had the motorways, so you think, right, the X5. So it sort of like didn't work. So we'd have some people going out in a really, really high-powered car that would be not using the power. Other people then constantly on radio in pursuits, obviously saying in pursuit, vehicle lost due to the car I'm in, vehicle lost due to the car.
So they're actually making a point.
Yeah. So the sergeants did get a little bit savvy and then start putting it of like, you get the best result for the best car for the best person. Yeah. Some people love pursuits. Some people just like collisions. Some people like going. Some people, honestly, some people just like going and getting drunk drivers. Yeah. So everyone's got their own, but there's no point. The lad who literally goes straight out of the nick and gets 10 drunk drivers that day, having the most powered car.
You don't need it.
You don't need it, and it says I don't need it, so don't issue me that car, and that's how basically it worked. But now cars have completely changed. I've recently gone down to Cheshire and they've got everything from brand new Cupras, 300 odd brake horsepower, I think 340 brake horsepower Cupras, mini Clubmans or Countrymans, 300 odd brake horsepower. They don't have one bad car. BMW and 340s. Everything's a high-powered pursuit special car.
I was having a conversation a while back on a podcast, I can't remember who it was, and we were on about when I was 19, 20, the SRI 130 came out.
Yeah.
And I remember all the North Yorkshire Police getting the SRI 130s, and we were like, wow, 30 horsepower.
Yeah.
And now, your lawnmower's got more than that now.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just, things just evolve so fast.
We've said this, and people, every time I put something on media or whenever I comment with someone, people say, just say, for instance, I'll do a video and I've done it on Cooper, and it's a new 340 and blah, blah, blah. And it'll do 170 miles an hour, the one that's down at Northamptonshire. And then someone will put in, that won't catch my 560 brake horsepower RS6. So I'm like, right, okay, let's do this then, for instance. Let's get in Bradford City Centre. You make off now from that Cooper. Where are you going to go? How fast are you going to go?
How are you going to get 560 horsepower.
Yeah, you're just going to come into traffic and stop, come into traffic and stop. Yeah. The thing, what you do is you set off on M62 or A1 and it's foot to floor as fast as you can get. And yeah, it might go 180 mile an hour, but then what? You're going to come to a bend, you're going to come to a roundabout, or you're going to come to slow moving traffic. Anything over 300 and say 30, 40 brake horsepower is pointless because, again, I've had a Ferrari make off from me, a 500 odd brake horsepower Ferrari, and it made off from me. Got to the first roundabout, put his foot down on dual carriageway, got to 160 miles an hour. I were 140, but then I could see it slowing down for roundabout. Got to the roundabout, went right behind it, and I'm like, I was going to pit you. And then you could see him bottle it then, thinking I'm in this expensive Ferrari. And I've got a photo with VXR behind it. We'll season it. I don't know if this is going out on a visual, but I'll get you a picture and you can post that and show them. But it just said, doesn't matter how fast the car is, it can only get to a certain limit at that point. And what the biggest thing is that people fail to understand is the roads aren't kitted out for such high speeds. So they'll do a test with undulations. So you can go across a certain road about 120, 130. It's a 70 mile an hour limit, and the undulations then will cause the car to bounce. Anything over 140, the car will ground out.
And you're going to bounce off the road.
Anything over 150, the car will probably hit the floor, ground out, wheels will come off and it'll go.
Spit it into the nearest field.
And everyone thinks it's a proper, my Lamborghini, my RS6 will do this. And you don't get the idea of certain bits of tarmac are only capable of gripping a car with certain tyres on at a certain location. Yeah. No, my car will go around there. And you're thinking like, it's not you. The Golf R is getting you around that bit. But then the next one you turn round, the tarmac is a different consistency, different grip consistency. You now got your Michelin Pilot 4s on or whatever it is, and that's why it goes backwards through a tree.
Yeah, and you're going to run out of skill very, very quickly.
And everyone thinks I can go buy this car and everyone's really good. And I'm not on about me anymore. I'm on about the calibre of the officers that are coming through with the traffic police now and stuff. I watch all these kids now, and like a lad passed me earlier on in an A35. And I'm just like, it must be an 18 and he's on the wrong side road and he's in and out. And I'm like, you're just a statistic. You're just going to hit. But what gets me is you're going to hit Mrs. Miggins coming out of the way or someone with a child.
I saw a lad in York the other day just coming out on Taddy Road onto the A64. There's a long sweeping 90-degree bend, dual carriageway onto the slip road. And he was sat in the central reservation on the grass at 90 degrees with his phone in his hand, obviously ringing his dad, scratching his head, going, how have I ended up here?
Yeah. But you can see it, can't you? You can see these roads, like I said, that has got a big sweeping curve, and then you've got set like skid lines that'll go, and you're like, how have you not noticed that? Well, what it is, it's just too fast. They've come down there, balls out, planning on going round and thinking, my car's not getting round here.
It's just understeer, they panic, hit the brakes and go straight into the green.
And then all we say is just think about your actions, because you moan that your insurance is too high as a young driver. Well, that's why. You think that prisons are full. That's why. You think that shouldn't have happened. That's why. And it just takes that little bit of foresight. Just slow down. What are you racing for? Go on to get a track day. But what are you trying to prove to members of the public? Because no one cares. No. Just cutting back to this, I remember years ago in the 80s and 90s when I passed my test, and I had an XR2 Fiesta. And this is what time, I'm not being funny, you drove past a girl and you go beep beep on your car and you try and do a bit of a wave because it was a cool thing to do. But now you look back, that was stupid. Why? What you think she'd look and go, ooh, look at you in that car.
So too.
I want to have a date with you. You just look stupid. But then, so when you're older, you realise, hang on a minute, you just do look stupid.
Yeah, honestly, you just think, why do you do that?
People think it looks cool or it sounds cool, or they're going to be like, you're a badass.
So we're doing a podcast with Jamie Swale. If you haven't seen it, have a look back at the catalogue. And he got, I can't remember which car he got, but he put a big body kit on it, chrome wheels, lowered it. And he said, thinking back in hindsight, it looked absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Probably didn't handle very well at all.
Yeah.
But it was the cool thing to do back in the time.
Yeah.
Why didn't our parents ever tell us not to do it?
It's about that learning thing, innit? And
exactly,
about going through life.
Yeah,
Like what we're saying, if you want to do it, take it on a track.
Exactly. I love doing track days. People say, oh, you know, did you beat so-and-so? I'm not interested in beating anybody.
Yeah.
You can go on a track day in the slowest car. All you're trying to do is better yourself.
Yeah.
And the more I can learn and improve my driving, the better I am.
Back to your third gear corner.
Exactly.
Learn how you balance your car and that's it.
Exactly. Quick thank you to the motorists for hosting us as always. To find their calendar of car meets, events and quizzes, head to the link in the show notes below. So going back, your favourite police car was Christine.
Yeah.
What about your favourite police bike?
We only had RTs at the time.
That was it.
We only had RTs
yeah.
at the time, and I wore issued mine. I can't remember the reg of it. I was, what were I? Bravo. I can't remember. Bravo Charlie.
Bravo Charlie, is that a new?
Bravo Charlie. Some at 2-4. I can't remember what call signs were, and it was just a generic bike at the time. There were no other.
So again, you just go out.
Again, if your bike wasn't there, you just took someone else's, but you never took the sergeant's bike. But yeah, the bikes unfortunately were just there and that. Again, bikes have changed now. North Yorkshire's got the Kawasaki supercharged Ninja SXH2.
Yeah.
1000 RR. They've got all sorts of bikes, so it's a good it's a good time to be on bike unit now as well.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, mine were the boring RT.
You enjoyed it, well, you were level,
and you can throw them round.
Yeah.
They are a really good, capable bike.
Yeah.
And all these people say, "Oh, you can't get your knee." Well, again, why do you want to get your knee down? Yeah. That doesn't prove that you're a good rider if you can get your knee down.
Yeah. As long as you're safe and you're doing your job, then
exactly.
What's it matter? So, what bike are you on today?
I'm on my new Kawasaki Z900 RSSE. Bought it from Cobb & Jaggers in March.
Like it?
Oh, it's lovely. I've bought bikes. I've rode since I was 3. I've bought bikes ever since I worked at Jeffries. So I've been in bike trade for 25 years now plus of buying and selling bikes. And there's not really a lot of bikes that I haven't ridden. And I wanted something very retro. And I spent a long time looking for something that I want that were retro as well, that were comfortable, that were capable of doing the job. I could go out scratching lads if I want to, but if I want to go out on a steady ride like coming over here today, I would do. And it's just so nice. It's got a quick shifter on it as well, so it's just a nice, progressive bike. And again, on way I sat next to someone on a Panigale, and his arse up, head down, full leather suit on, and you're just a bit like, those days are gone now.
Yeah. An hour's time, you're going to be in bits.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, it looked good.
Oh, yeah.
Like, wow.
For an hour.
Yeah, for an hour.
Then you want to just put the Ducati away and never ride it again for a week.
So it sat there. I sold my Triumph 1050 Tiger 2 weeks ago. I always try and have 2 bikes, one for a bit of cruising, one for a bit of touring.
But I've got a Z1000 SX, the
nice.
set up one.
Yeah.
And I like that because it's sort of mixed between the two.
It's feet both
It's
camps.
a sport tourer. Take the panniers off it, and it's a really low weighted bike. It handles like a 600, plenty of power. Put the panniers on it. I've been to Scotland in it, Northern Ireland.
They're
over
a very
to Ireland.
good bike, them.
Absolutely superb.
The thing is, as well, they're very underrated. They're one of the biggest selling Kawasaki bikes, but when you put them in the gross market of bikes, they're a very underrated bike.
I think they look stunning in the Kawasaki green metallic and the black. It's really, really happy with it. Although I've not been out on it very much.
Well, if you look at them to look at the old ZZRs, they're 10 miles in front. I'd say to everyone, have a bit of a look at these bikes, because a lot of people just say, well, I'm going to go to this and I'm going to go to that. And I think VFRs of all of the days and these now, SXs and things are coming through and just change the bike market.
And they're cheap money as well.
Yeah, they are.
You can pick them up for not a lot of money at all now.
Don't say that about mine. I hope mine holds its value for ages.
If you're listening, love, it's worth everything it paid.
And if our lass is listening, it cost me $2,000.
Oh, God, yeah. What's that? The biggest fear is when I die. The wife sells everything for what? Sold her paid.
You've got no idea how much it costs.
It's always better to seek forgiveness and ask permission when you're buying it. Though. So what's the one car that's eluded you that you really fancy driving, that you wish you'd had a go with or on, or, you know?
So you mean in traffic?
Yes, yeah.
Evo.
Okay.
Now, I've driven an Evo. I just haven't driven the police Evo. And I wanted to. It were a different time then as well.
What Evo are we talking with the police, Adam? I can't honestly remember.
You're probably talking 2006 to 2009, somewhere around there.
So Evo 6?
Evo 6, 7, maybe an 8, somewhere around that sort of like time, but maybe a 6, 7. And the reason being is it were an iconic car. And you might line it up today against something and it might just not be as good, it's not as comfortable, it's a bit hard to drive. But on the day when I had the VXR, that were my competitor when we were bringing something over from Hull or wherever they were, South Yorkshire, wherever it were going to be. They had them, North Yorkshire had the Scoobies, we had the Vectras. And then when you always pull alongside them, you're always in that little bit of like, yeah. Yeah. And now, don't get me wrong, my dream car, if someone said to me, we can have any car you want, do you want a Koenigsegg, do you want this? My dream car is an Escort Cosworth. Now, the Escort Cosworth, don't get me wrong, I'd have loved to have driven one in the police, but you're only looking at 220 brake horsepower. In the day, they were quick when you against Cavaliers or you against XR2s and stuff. But if you look at it on today's day and age, where you got cars, 4 seconds is the 340, not 60, it's pushing out 500 Newton meters of torque. There's not a lot on a static day-to-day basis that is going to get away from it. I just wanted something that were, I want to say, animal of a car. I felt like I had a Rottweiler in my VXR. I wanted to drive a pit bull, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I think the Evo, well, that sort of like version of car, but yeah, that's one that sort of like got away from me.
Never been into the Subarus then? Or did did the police not have Subarus at that time?
No, they did. North Yorkshire had them. So we worked alongside Paul at North Yorkshire and a few others. The reason being is a Subaru, as much as I love it, is a tin box on wheels. And people say this, that and other, but went to a smash with a Subaru, a fatal. And it wasn't at high speed, it hit a lamppost and it split the car in two. Then I've pursued a load of Subarus, I've pursued WRXs and STIs, and they've all crashed. And then when you see the mess of the car, of what it does, it's a brilliant car, drives brilliant, handles brilliant, and this sort of thing, but they're not designed to take an impact. And then when you see how much they crumble, I remember years ago, and you'll probably know this, seeing a Renault 5 GT Raider hit a wall when I was younger, and there were literally nothing left of it. There were like half a back seat and boot, and the rest of the car had disappeared. And that's what I had. Every time I looked at a Subaru, I'd be like, box on wheels.
On a similar vein, a friend of mine back in the 80s rallied a Peugeot 205, and he had a role in that. And I remember him putting some new rear quarters on it, and he took the rear quarters off, and it was just tissue paper. There's nothing to it at all. You just think. And
it would say, it would say. And when you see someone, like again, I don't want to go into it, but when you see a dead body and you see how it's caused, and you think, I'll stay away from that mechanism of what's caused it and how, and it just imprints on you. And it's I always went in an S-Rad G6R, but I went for the K series instead of the S-Rad, and the reason being is went to a fatal involving an S-Rad 1000cc, and lad were laid there, and instantly I just thought, I don't want one of them now. It's just I just don't want one of them.
That's understandable.
Yeah. That's why.
It's a big red cross next to it. You're like, no,
so I've always stayed away from Subaru.
So do you have a big bearing on? I don't know how old your kids are. Are they driving age yet?
No, Harriet's 12, Isaac's 9. I've just bought him his first trials bike,
okay.
So he's just learning to ride. But apart from that, no.
So will you have a massive influence on the cars they drive?
Yes, and driving, teaching as well. The reason being is, again, I won't go into it because it's a bad job. I never really thought about NCAP, never really thought about how bad cars can be. Went to a fatal, wasn't a high-speed fatal. A lady drove into I'm going to get this wrong, it were a Volvo, what they're called, like a cross tour, it was XC70. Yeah. So it was a T5 XC70, she went shopping 30 mile an hour, she hit a Corsa. The Corsa were a 2001, so it was a 51 plate. The Corsa were destroyed, the young girl were dead in the car, and the Volvo lady broke her arm, only because of the airbag. Inside the car were fine, but it's just that little bit of, and I just thought, it's just that little bit of, oh, well, it's cheap. We'll buy that. Our lass will be fine in that. And I'm like, I'd rather spend a little bit more money and just get something a little bit safer.
I know what you mean. I went on a Mercedes van experience.
Yeah.
At Millbrook.
Right.
And they had every manufacturer's van there you could think of. And they had them all lined up with the keys in them. And they just said, just pick a van, take it on the skid pan. And you have an instructor with you.
Yeah.
And I thought, there's a Citroen there. I can't remember which model Citroen van it was. And guy jumped in. I said, have you been in one of these before? And he said, no, it'd be interesting. I've not been on one before. So you take it on the skid pan with all the driver aids switched on, and I can only describe it as dangerous.
Yeah.
And I just said to her, this is just bizarre. He said, just try this. Tried a few different things. And I went, it's just, I would not be comfortable driving this on the road.
Yeah.
And we sort of put it away, got in something else in a Mercedes, and it did what you expected it to do, and the driver aids helped you.
Yeah.
From that point on, I will not, without duress, get in a Citroen.
No, I fully agree.
Won't let my kids have one. Do you know what I mean? And it's that
100% agree.
It's that sort of that memory of that just put me completely off them.
My dad taught my brother to drive in a Bedford Rascal, and it wore a seat, a steering rack, and a piece of tinfoil up front.
Yeah, the front's there.
Yeah, and I was bizarre, but that was 92.
Your knees up by your ears because there's no room for your legs.
No, and that was 1992, and I'm like, times have moved on, but I'll always have a view of what I'll probably be buying the car anyway. So I'll always have a view of what they'll be going.
But there is a lot to be said for modern cars.
Yeah,
so much safer than older cars. Like your Corsas and your Novas and that hot hatch thing. I mean, you're not much younger than me. I'll get that in there. In the 80s, all the hot hatches. I mean, I lost 3 mates within. I think by the time I was 20, I'd lost 3 friends just because they'd crashed the hot hatches.
Yeah.
And there was nothing to them. Literally, car crashed. Yeah, it's probably going to be a fatal.
Yeah.
Because there were no crumple zones or anything like that back then.
That's why there were hot hatches though, weren't there? Because it were an engine.
They didn't weigh anything.
4 wheels and a bit of a tin shell over the top.
Hell of a lot of fun to drive.
Oh, yeah.
Phenomenal, but
just dangerous. No ABS, no airbags.
Oh, nothing. No, it was your feet and that was it. That you were the.
That's why you learn your skill though, down at B roads with them. With my old XR2.
Yes, officer. Drive Life will be attending Cops and Cars at the Motorist on Saturday the 1st of August. Come and see us on the stand to claim your free drive tag and lanyard. So just going back to, you mentioned a few fatals there.
Yeah.
And I know you're a massive advocate now, finishing with the police force. We touched on that briefly, but we didn't explore it. Basically, you're medically retired?
Yeah. Yeah.
So do you want to just explain what happened there and why?
Yeah, so the reason I said I got kicked off the bike unit is my dad was struggling with terminal cancer at the time and we were looking after him. But yeah, so cutting down into it, so many fatals. When I say fatals, it's horrendous things. I can tell you if you want, but I don't want you to cut it all out. But just let them say picking people up in body parts, putting people in bin liners because there's nothing left of them, picking people's heads up at side of road. It's just everything you can think of. Just seeing the unimaginable, but the majority of it were kids. Just the kids dying in your arms, kids on fire, kids. And then one day my mum got taken in for an operation. 11 days later we got told to come in. We ended up turning the ventilator off. But because I was in uniform, the consultant surgeon just looked at me and said, right, this is the best. So I told my dad, told my brother, kissed my mum on the head, pulled the tubes out, flicked the switch, and second she was dead. First day after the funeral, went back to work. It was a 2-year-old decapitated by a truck. And then next day, fatal, and it just went on and on and on. And you don't have anywhere to decompress. Everyone says, well, you should be able to cope. Well, I don't know any human that'd be able to see the things we've seen involving the children and everything else. And if you say you can cope, you're not human, because there's a difference. That's why we are human, for the empathy and the caring. Within 6 months of my mum going, my dad says he's got terminal cancer, he died at Christmas, back to work, fatal. And it was just body after body after body, and these were horrendous. Doing CPR on a man impaled on a tree, and he's still sat in his Porsche Cabriolet. Just horrendous things you just can't unsee.
Do you get any training? Sorry for interrupting. Do you get any training for that then when you start that job?
No.
It's just, get in your car, off you go.
Yeah, and then when you go back to Nick, right, we've got another one. There's nowhere.
It's not sustainable, is it?
No. Your body can only take so much trauma issue. There's a thing saying people normally have between 7 to 8 traumas in their life, proper traumas, loss of a loved one, parent, child, divorce, moving house, a car crash, a stabbing, a violent assault, something of that nature.
Well, I guess you were getting that a month.
We'll get about 800 in his lifetime. And these are trauma where you need therapy for each one, but you don't have therapy. You just put it in your little box. Now, the police aren't anything special, but I've got friends that are in special forces. Some of them are very famous people that you'll see on TV. And they say, yeah, you go away for 6 months, and then you come back and you're home for 6 months and you have somewhere to decompress and everything else. And we don't have it thrown on us every single day. This is every single day of your life, not including negativity. You were bullied at school, go get a real job, we hate you. You see you're rolling around the floor, someone's trying to kick your head in, pin member public are join in. I went for a pint at my local pub. Within 2 seconds of getting in, my teacher runs in. There's a gentleman committed suicide outside, running in front of a truck. So I'm there in my best trainers, jeans, and Saturday night top, trying to do CPR on this lad, where his back's ripped open, there's blood everywhere. They don't have that life. We are nothing special, but paramedics, firefighters, and everything have this 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You're never off duty. That's the main thing. Went to a simple bump, something and nothing, and ended up peeing my pants. Didn't know who I was, didn't know where I was. Fried my circuits, so to speak. And they said, yeah, your brain's gone. So 2.5 years, sleeping on 2 hours a night, no appetite, suicidal, can't think straight, I've got no memory, I've got mind fog all the time, I'm lethargic all the time, I cry all the time. 6 years on in October this year, I still cry myself to sleep most nights, still think about taking my life majority of the time, don't really like what I see in the mirror, don't like who I am as a person, but you've got to try and, I don't want to be that guy that's I am, and it's all about me. So what we did, we turned it around, myself and Dan, and we formulated 1965 PTSD awareness. I wrote my books, dedicated all the money from my first book to Kaleidoscope Mental Health Group. Started out mental health lecturing around the UK, and our charity work has just progressed from there. The reason is I don't want anyone else to go through what I went through. And when you're at the bottom of the barrel and you've got nowhere to go, and the phone doesn't ring and no one wants to know you anymore, and all you can do is think, right, the world's going to be a better place when I'm not here in it. You go buy your rope, you pick your tree. And it were only when I was sat in a bath with water filled up, red hot water, and the sharpest knife in the kitchen on my wrist. And I thought, right, I'll just fall into water. The water will burn me instantly, but as soon as it starts burning me, I'll cut my wrists. I'll pass out within a couple of seconds and I'm fine. I just thought I'm too much of a pussy to be able to do that to myself. But then what I thought about is the impact it's going to have on my kids coming home, my missus coming home. Then I'm putting all my trauma and hurt then back onto them. And I thought, I can't do that. I just can't impact someone of what I've gone through onto their lives. And I once saw this therapist, I said, why me? Why has it got to be me? And she went, that's a very selfish thing to say, because if it's got to be you, that means if it's not you, it's going to be someone else. Mm-hmm. She said, do you want someone else to go through what you've gone through? And I went, no. She said, why has it got to be you then? Well, I'd rather it be me now than be you or be someone else, because it's unfair. Life's not fair. Life's a shit show. Mm-hmm. Life's full of ups and downs. But again, it's how we make a better tomorrow for ourselves. And that's why we have the events here. That's why we raise the money for the charities. And what really hurts more than what else is, I didn't ask to be poorly. I've been a relatively good person all my life. I've given my life with 19 years to people I've never met. I've saved quite a few lives. I've done well in the police. But then when I put something on about the charity events, I'm like, all coppers burn in hell. I hope you get cancer. I hope this, I hope that. Defund the police. You're all criminals. You're all... And you're thinking like, I could have gone back in time now, flick a switch and not save those lives. What's the world becoming when people say that? Let me just tell you about a girl called Hannah Fox. Hannah Fox was a girl I tutored in police, really nice lass. She's now a detective sergeant or a detective inspector. Really good lass. I got called to a fatal at Shipley, and when I found out the scene was nearly a mile long. Basically, the car had been bouncing on all these cars all the way through these roads until we've come into a car park. I've seen Hannah's doing CPR on this man. He's died about 7 times, and she's brought him back. Doing CPR on someone, it's absolutely, do it for like a minute.
It's hard work.
It's knackering. And she's brought him back about 7 times, and then eventually he's like laid there, and he dies again. Fast paramedic gets there, and then she's still doing CPR, sweat dripping off her, while he's trying to get all fluids in, get everything on, and she doesn't give up. And she goes on and on and on and on until they can get this man lifted and taken to hospital. He then gets given a pacemaker, and he's still alive today because of what Hannah did. Now, if you take all that away, that man had died. That was someone's dad, someone's granddad, someone's husband, someone's friend, someone's carer. And I think this is what humanity is when people are... Hannah didn't have to do that. She did it because it was bred into her to do it. Not because you're a police officer, because she said, if I wasn't on duty, I'd have still done the same thing.
It's the keyboard warriors don't see that.
Yeah.
They just sit there. I'm guessing a lot of them are depressed. They don't get out much. They just sit in the room, dark room, and they're just, what can I do today?
This will bring negative comments. What we're talking about.
I'm sure it will.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest with you. I don't care. I just want to help people. I have been depressed. Nowhere near as bad as you. But I can see the benefits talking to people brings. I've reached out to people and groups and had help from that, and that's helped me through it.
Yeah.
We've spoke to other people on the podcast who've been through exactly the same. I'm saying everybody. Most people have some form of anxiety, of some form of mental health issues in their life. You know, a lot of it can be very severe. Some of it can be a lot lighter. But there are people out there can help you. There's groups out there can help you. I really don't get what these people get out of the hate on social media, and I honestly think something more should be done about it.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly.
You know, prosecutions and that sort of thing. Whether it will, I don't know.
I think there's just a lot of negativity towards people, and I think social media has brought it where people think they can say and do what they want. I'm not on about prosecuting people. They can say they'll do what they want, but they're behind a closed door and it doesn't affect people. But then you look at all these people like pop stars or whatever when they're abused constantly, and you think, you just let people be. And is it jealousy? Is it because you're not that pop star and you've not got that money? Is it jealous because you don't get out much and you don't do anything? Or
I think it must be.
Yeah, but
I think it is.
Just leave people to be who they want to be.
I think it is that jealousy. You know, instead of making your own path in life, you're just trying to knock other people down because they're doing as you perceive better than you.
I once spoke to Mike Brewer from Wheel Dealers, and me and him had a right good chat once at an event. And I'm proud to say I call him a friend. And he said 2 things. He says, always give someone a minute of your time, because that might be the last minute they want out of life. So they might be thinking, this is the last time I'm going to do it and whatever. And then you're, hang on a minute, this person's really nice, this person's giving you a bit of hope. So always give someone a minute of your time. They've queued up to see you, you can give them a minute of time. And second is, everyone is going to be jealous of who you are or what you've got. But they're not jealous of the journey it's taken to get you there.
They don't see that.
Yeah. So they'll turn around to people like Mike and say, oh, Ed China were better, or this is that, or this. And Mike says a lot of it's directed towards his weight. But he says, but they haven't put in the 15-hour days I've done since I was 10-year-old. They haven't put in the effort that I've put in to do what I've done. I haven't fallen onto one thing, flipped a coin, and then someone's put me on the show.
He's a grafter, he's been to the motorist a few times.
It works every single minute of every single hour. And I've had a podcast with him myself, and he just says it's the time. And when I've watched him, we've been to motor shows with him, we've been to events with him, we've been with petrol hedonism, with Cheero and things like that. And when you watch him, he doesn't have a minute to himself.
All the time.
But he'll stop. It'll be, I've got to get from stage A to stage B within 3 minutes. I've got 30 people wanting a photo. That's 1 minute. That's 30 minutes. I'll make this work. I'll figure out how to make 30 minutes into 3 minutes, or vice versa. Yeah. And the fact is, like I said, everyone's going to be jealous. They're jealous of your car. They're jealous of who you are. They're jealous of your presence. But they don't want to.
They don't see the graft.
They don't want to. They'll go through what you've gone through to get to where you've gone through.
And I'll say, time away from your family. You know,
walk in my shoes for a day, and I guarantee you'll give my shoes back and say, I don't want that. Because when you close your eyes at night and demons come calling in my bedroom, and you see what I see and smell what I smell and taste what I taste, I guarantee you'll give my shoes back and say, I don't want to do that.
Social media, I call it anti-social media.
Yeah.
Just because of the hate on there. I don't understand where people come from with it. I'm all for living my own life. You know, I work hard. I want to do the best I can for things I want to do.
Yeah.
My family to do the same. And, you know, everybody else just to get on with their life and enjoy it.
We're only here once.
Exactly.
It's not a dress rehearsal.
Yeah.
And all I say to my kids, I brought my kids up, always show respect, be kind and nice to people, and that will open doors for you.
100%.
And since my kids could walk, they'd walk in here now, and I'd say, Isaac, what do we do to someone new? And he'd walk up to you, put his hand out and say, nice to meet you.
Absolutely brilliant.
Why are those morals not installed from people now? So I don't know.
It's the society we're living in, it?
Yeah.
Anyway, again, we could probably chat about that all day long and get absolutely nowhere with it. But yeah, just to touch on that, there are a lot of help out there. Andy's Man Club, your charity, 1965 PTSD awareness. We'll put some links in the notes below afterwards. Just if you want help, ask.
The biggest thing is open your mouth, and once you've opened your mouth, that's the hardest hurdle.
It's a massive weight off your shoulders. I've been there. I know what it's like.
Again, so you're pushing out there. If I can say to people now,
of course you can.
My name's Ben Pearson, I'm mentally poorly, and I'm proud to say that I'm not all right. If I can do it to members of the public I've never met, you can do it to your loved ones, your mum, your dad, your cousin, your friends, your sister, your brother. It's not hard. It's just that first step. Please can have some help, and then they will be there for you.
I'm still a bit agog that the police and emergency services don't have something in place to help you through those hard days at work.
So there's a thing called TRIM, Trauma Risk Incident Management, which was brought in from the army. But it doesn't work. It's basically someone coming into you after an event and saying, right, chat to me, do you need to talk? But then that's like, imagine me and you now. Yeah. I've just dealt with
I'm all right.
Yeah. No, I'm all
right. Okay. Yeah. That's it.
And then if you say speak up, you could lose all your permits, your firearms licenses, everything. So you just hold it back inside. So then what we do is I wake up in the morning, spend 3 hours of media from bobbies, firefighters all over the world. This has happened. What would you recommend? I'll say this, that and other. And they'll say, right, okay. Because they'd rather do that than speak to one of the bosses, because boss will turn around and say, right, I've done this. I've done it in this box and that's it. Okay, else responsibility. And then next thing you know, all your permits are gone, you're sidelined and you're like, no.
I know a traffic cop, I won't mention the name, from North Yorkshire, and they were off work for a couple of years because of very similar things. Yeah. They've gone back to it now, but not to the level they were at, I believe. Yeah. But yeah, it obviously affects everybody. Yeah. I know a guy who's a firefighter, he's suffered a hell of a lot with it, you know. Yeah. It's just, I can only imagine what you guys have to deal with or had to deal with, and I won't wish it on anybody. No. You know, it's not nice.
As it's good bits, as it's down parts.
Yeah, I get that. But yeah, you sort of remember the good bits, but you'll remember the bad bits a lot more. Yeah. And when you're laid in bed at night, it'll be those bad bits that you remember. A quick note, if you're looking for something to do this weekend, head to carevents.com and discover car events near you. Moving on. 3-car garage.
Oh, what do I want in it?
Lottery win.
Oh, right. First of all, that's at Cosworth. It's got to be a small turbo model, so I don't have turbo lag on. It's got to be a Lux, and it's got to be in either blue. Can't remember what they're called.
The darker blue.
The dark blue, aubergine, or did they do that? Was it a green one? Did they do like a Maladi green one or whatever it is?
Don't know actually.
So anyway, it's going to be one of them. That's going to be in it. I'm going to have a Porsche 911 turbo. I'm not right up on the Porsches. Okay. So it's going to have to be a newish one.
So can I ask you why 911?
Yeah. No, I don't know. Okay. So I think the idea being, so I'm wanting to get a 718 at the moment because it's all I can afford. And I want to get the 2.5 litre GTS. And everyone says, oh, it's not a real Porsche engine, blah, blah, blah. It's this and that, your cheap man's Porsche, whatever they say. I'd want a 911 because it's classed as a 911. That's the only thing. And it's the turbo. Because it's an iconic, I've got a 911 turbo, it's an iconic thing to say. It's basically saying I've got a Lamborghini Aventador. Well, what else have you got? Well, I've got an Audi whatever, and it's got a Lamborghini Aventador engine in it. It's like, yeah, but it's not a Lamborghini Aventador, whatever it is. So I'm going to say Porsche 911 Turbo. I'm going to say a Cabriolet version. of it.
So you get the sun in your hair.
Yeah. And I don't know why I want it. I'd probably get it and go, this is shit. Or, sorry for my language. Or, and it's not what I thought it'd be. But I want it to be in the garage. I want it to be ticked off the list. Does that make sense? Then I want something family orientated. Now, everyone's going to shoot me for this, but because I'd never buy one, but I've always had a thing for Range Rovers. But I'd never buy one anyway because, like you said, they dropped to bits. But you know the image of having a nice Range Rover, Sunday afternoon, country pub, you know, kids getting it, that sort of thing. So I wouldn't know what I'd want, but I'd want something of that sort of like, but I wouldn't want an X5, I wouldn't want the Bentley, I wouldn't know what I want, but
I don't fancy a Tourer, like an M3 Touring or an
No. So I'm tainted. I've patrolled Bradford, and there's not one car you can look at now that I go, that's rare. Nice. That's rare, because you see them all on Toller Lane parked up. I'm not breaking the mould with these things. I'm a simple man. But I'd want something that's going to be a family-oriented car, that's going to be a nice engine, something good to drive, and something that's reliable. Now, I can turn around and say, right, I'd have a Koenigsegg, I'd have a Senna, I'd have this and all that. But I'm like, what is the joy of having a 200 mile an hour, £2 million car, coming here, on the road, my feelings shaking out, it's uncomfortable, what am I going to do with it? I'm losing more petrol than what I'm gaining miles per gallon. So I want an everyday driver, which I'd class as my Porsche, because I believe I've got a mate who's had one, and he says it is an everyday car. You can take it to work, you can track it, you can do what you want with it. The Cosworth is something that it's my icon car. It's something that I've always looked up to, and I think it still stands its own now. You can park it alongside an M3 Touring, and it still looks the part, it still is the part. But you look at the thing of cars now, and this is what I've said for years, there's not a lot with any soul anymore. And you can bring cars out now, but I think the three that I picked will have an amount of soul for what it is. Now, people are listening, this lad don't know what he's on about, get a brand new RS6. Well, it doesn't have soul. You don't get a so-and-so.
There's no passion with it.
Yeah. Now, you go back to the old M3s, to the 3.2 or whatever it is, you go, it's got soul. It's just... And that's why I see it. I don't know if it's because I've turned 50. I just see things differently. But that's my garage.
Do you like a driver's car? You spoke about going back to Christine.
See,
a car that you get a feel for, not that it does it all for you.
So I've got a Golf GTI now, and it's a 21 plate DSG. It's probably the best car I've ever owned. I'm lazy because I don't want to change gear anymore. But when I want to drive it, it goes quick, or it goes where it needs to go. I can get it on paddle shifts. I think there's a car designed for every single person. I think there's a lot of people who drive a car without realising what that car is. We used to say number plate car driver. The number plate matches the car matches the driver. You notice when you see a beautiful blonde woman about 32, 33, she's driving a white Range Rover and it'll say sexy on plate. The number plate matches the car matches the driver. You see a 21-year-old lad with a Burberry baseball cap on driving a Bentley GT Continental. It just doesn't sort of like match. So they always say the owners look like the dogs, don't they, as well? Owners look like cars. Now, people will buy a car because, oh, that looks nice. I really get that. Other people drive a car because of how it drives. I think personally now there's a loss of that between people and cars. People just going, I want that one. And then you remember, I want that one. And then you go, I don't want that one, don't want it. I think there's a lot of that now because there's too much choice.
I have conversation with my students. I'm on the road most days, sat in a car 13 hours a day, and we chat about what car would you want. You know, if you pass your test, a couple of years' time, you know, look on the road today, what car do you desire?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know.
Everything looks the same.
They're all Chinese boxes.
Everything looks the same.
When I was 17, 18, I was hankering after, I wanted a Capri.
Yeah.
Not long after the Cozzies came out.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But they were achievable.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not talking like Ferraris, Lambos, that, you know, echelon of car. Achievable cars that, you know, a young driver could dream of. There is nothing on the road today. You think, oh, that looks all right.
No.
they all look the same.
But you remember when like you can look at something now and have a structure. What's that? That's a Lancia Delta Integrale. What's that? That's a Mark II Golf. What Mark of Golf are we on now? Or, I know what mine is because that's mine is. But what Mark Fiesta we're on now? What Mark BMW are we on this for this? What's the difference between a 318, a 320? What's this Audi 35 TFSI 40? It's just all gone to this like bizarre mix of cesspool-y stuff where I think when you say a driver's car, there's cars that I thought I'd drive and I got in and I thought, this is horrible, or I don't like this. And there's cars that I thought, I won't like this, and I've got in it and I'm like, wow. One of my best friends has just bought a brand new Renault 5 and I've got in and I'm like, what the hell? And it's literally just taken me straight back, driver's car, just an all-round good effort of a car.
The reason I asked you that question, I just want to go back to your 911 choice.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the 718.
Yeah.
Have you driven the 718?
Yes. So I've driven it round one of my videos for Next Base. I thrashed it around Thruxton. Really
nice
good
cars.
Really good car, really capable. And that's why I'd probably say I want the 2.5 litre. I'd have the GTS.
Yep.
With all the extras on. And I'd probably only say 911 because that's what I'm saying. It's a 911, but not 60, 2.5 litre or a 4 litre GTS. Still 4 seconds.
I'd be honest with you, out of the two, I'd have the 718.
I probably would do.
I think 911s are too good.
I know what you mean.
They do.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
There's no emotion. They're just, you turn it into a corner, it turns and it goes around the corner.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
718, there's a bit of feel to it. You have to, when you're getting up there, you have to drive it.
Yeah. We thrashed it and I had traction control. If you watch the video with Next Base, I'm thrashing his car around. But I was racing a race car driver and it was best an Interceptor or a race car driver. And obviously he won because he's raced at Thruxton about 40 times.
Knows it like the back of his hand.
And I don't have, it was my first, so imagine first time ever racing at Thruxton, here's a Porsche, and I'm like, I don't even know which way to go on track, and we were timed. Now I think I was 4 seconds behind him.
That's respectable, is that?
That wasn't that bad for my first time in the car. Yeah, first time behind him or whatever it is. And we've done the same. We're at next week we're at Blighton Park doing another one, but it's based around advanced driving and like high speed reversing and things like that. So I think I said 911 for the sake of having that tick in that box and saying it's a 911.
I get it.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course it does.
Where people would say, what watch have you got? And you say, I've got a Tudor. And they say, well, I've got a Rolex. Or Tudor's a poor man's Rolex. And it's like, this is people that potato.
I was just going to say exactly the same thing. Yeah. Exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
I throw it back to people, it's the poor man's Porsche. And I just throw it back with those who know.
But you say that, didn't know about Subarus, it's poor man's Cosworth. And I'm like, well, it doesn't make a difference. It's still a great driving car.
Completely. No, yeah, it's interesting to know, and I'm going to watch those videos. So I've not actually watched them.
Yeah.
So
they're funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm just a walking idiot.
Do you manage to keep it on the tarmac?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's a bonus.
Yeah, no. Like I said, when we had we have a bit of a conflab with the person who runs the track, first of all. He says he don't want us to race because the races could lead to issues. And then he just says, just be careful. So when Alfie finishes, he says, just be careful you lift off oversteer, down back straight. So I think we're 130, 140, and we're capable drivers, but I'm not who I was. I'm not fast like I was, but I bring fun to the content of just being an idiot.
But you used to do that day in, day out,
yeah.
And you haven't done it for a long time now, so you're going to lose that edge.
Yeah.
It's going to...
And I feel better doing it on a road than I do on a track, because on a track you've got no concept of speed, where on a road, when you're passing a lamppost at 120,
you realise how fast you're going.
Gauge what I'm driving and how I'm driving. Where on a track, I could be 250 miles an hour. There's no to get. It's just fields around you, and it's only when you come to brake, it goes do 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 do. You're not getting around there.
You sort of get into a monotony, I think, in a circuit car going around the circuit. You get used to getting that lap, and then you're just on that braking point, and it's just keep it flat, brake, down a couple of gears, into the corner, and it's just that. I actually use that to get to sleep on a night.
Right.
If I wake up in the middle of the night, I'll start doing laps around Cadwell or Blighton and braking points, turning points, that sort of thing. And it's just a monotony. And I think once you've done quite a few laps around a circuit, you get into that, and it's...
Yeah, I like traffic islands and cars coming out the way and
blue lights flashing,
fitting through gaps you can't fit through. Yeah, so that's what I like. I feel like I can excel.
Right, moving on. Saturday the 1st of August.
Saturday 1st of August, Cops and Cars.
Massive day.
Yep.
Can't wait.
Thank you so much. Year 5, I think it is for us now. Last year was just bananas. We estimated 5,000 people attended. We had over, I think, 1,400 cars come. It was 2 mile tailback. It was an hour and a half to 2 hours to get in. We brought Sherburn, Boston Sparta, or Standstill. I do apologise. But yeah, it's the north of England's basically biggest emergency services charity event now.
Can I just interject there?
Yeah.
I believe the motorists have got different traffic management in place this time.
They have, yeah.
To
things have changed.
That burden.
Yeah,
so
things have changed now. So
yeah.
we have had to make it ticket orientated to find out how many people are coming for the first sets. But yeah, it's basically they've put a one-way loop in, which is going to solve all that, which is going to be brilliant. All the money raised goes to the Yorkshire Ambulance and his Man Club and PTSD 999. It's for emergency service workers, police, ambulance, fire, Coast Guard, RNLI and mountain rescue, mental health treatment and assessments and welfare. I think we're on the best part of £60,000 raised, but you will meet all your interceptors, traffic cops, motorway cops, road wars, fan favourites.
Some TV personalities.
Graham Cole from the Bills come in. We have asked Otto Alex and he said he was going to come, but then I haven't heard from him in a while because he's really, really busy and I don't want to push him. So yeah, it's really good. We've got Samad come in as well, YouTuber. Chiro from Petrol Hedonism are going to be hosting. There's going to be obviously all the brand new police cars, all retro police cars, American police cars, Army, Fire and Rescue, Highways, TV cars, XR Owners Club, Leeds Supercar Mate, everything you can think of automotive.
Yorkshire Ambulance.
Yorkshire Ambulance, everything you're going to want is going to be here. It's a great day. We put a lot of stuff on for you. And it's mind-blowing to say we've come from nothing and a few hundred people come to the first one to literally being probably one of the motorists' biggest events.
I believe it was the biggest attended event last year.
Yeah. Now, I know Adam sees an event this year. I don't know if we're going to beat that. But what we want to do, it's not about getting numbers through the door. It's about the awareness. If 4 people come and 4 people are saved, that's all I want. One of the biggest positives I've had were right outside this room. Can't remember his name, but he'll probably be listening. I walked out and he says, I was going to kill myself last year. And he says, and I just saw Cops and Cars advertised. So I came, this was last year, so it was the year before he was going to kill himself. I came and I'd never known about Andy's Man Club. So he opened his T-shirt, Andy's Man Club on it, he gave me a big hug and he says, I'm now a facilitator. He says, coming to this event saved my life. So it's not about how many boots we get through the door or how many tickets we sell. It's about
those
the lives that we save. Now, it is £5 per vehicle. Coming 5 people, it works out £1 a piece. Not 1 penny goes to the people that sell the tickets, which you'll know. Not 1 penny goes to the motorists. Every single penny of that doesn't go to pay anybody at all. Everyone's doing it all for free. It goes straight to the charity. So no one gets a cut of anything. And everyone comes out their own pocket. Everyone uses their own fuel and everything else. And we put a lot of effort into this. It takes 6 months to plan. It's myself and Dan that plan it, from the guest list to the Q&As to parking to everything. It's just constant go, linking in with the sponsors, linking in with whoever wants to come. But we've got a truck pull now as well. So a charity truck pull, so anyone that wants to pull a truck there.
You're having a go at that, yeah? I'm
going to have a go. I had spinal surgery in November, but I'm going to have a go. But he said an old woman did it in a wheelchair once. So it's not as hard as what you think. Brilliant. So yeah, I had anyone that's listening, please come along. Bring your kids along, sit in our police cars, meet all the people from the TV shows, sit in the fire end, do things that are building the bridges, because they might say, right, what's Highways Agency do? They're going to be here. What's Anarchy Garage do? They're going to be here. What's this police car do? Sit inside, put the outfits on, put the helmets on, learn about why the cars are here and what they do. And the police are giving their own time up for this, for road safety, casualty reduction, and to build bridges in the community. And the amount of kids that say, I've met my heroes, I wanted to be a firefighter, I've sat in the fire, and we've got heart rescue teams, so the paramedics coming this year. So they're going to be teaching.
They're based in Leeds, aren't they?
Yeah, so there's CPR, there's all sorts of things to go on to. And it's just creating that little bit of, I now know CPR, I now know this and that. So yeah, we've got Bailey coming from BBC's Ambulance show, which is one of the best shows on TV at the moment. It's just a good event, and all we can say is please come along, show your face. Tickets are going to be probably in the link that you're going to put on, and it's going to be creating a better tomorrow for people. And you'll never know when you need the air ambulance. And I've seen it work hundreds and hundreds of times. I've been on the collisions, I've been at the RTCs, I've worked alongside Yorkshire Ambulance hundreds of times in traffic. And then when you realise it's got you to LGI quicker and it's saved your child's life or your grandparent's life, it's worth every single penny.
Of course it is.
So come along, see them, shake some hands, put some money in the buckets, and that's all we want.
So that's Saturday the 1st of August.
Saturday 1st of August, doors open at 9.
Get your tickets, put a link in below.
Yeah, get your tickets. It closes at 4. Most people go about 3-ish. There's food, there's drink, there's entertainment, there's music, there's Q&As, there's giveaways. I've got 5 dash cams from Next Base to give away at packages over at £350 packages. I give them away. I've got some model police cars that Stu's made me, exactly the same as my police car, same registration, there to give away. So there's lots of things.
So there's lots of things happening, lots of things to get involved in. You're not going to have a boring day, I promise you. And for £5, it's nothing, is it?
It's brilliant.
So,
hopefully there's going to be marketplace and fun fair. But I need to, after we've done this today, I need to link in with them. I need to link in with them. So there's a lot on. So please come.
Oh, brilliant. What else have you got on in the future then, with your charity and that side of things?
We have our black tie ball, which sells out within an hour every year. That's in October. That's for the Police Treatment Centre. If you want to contact us direct for tickets for next year, but that sells out literally as soon as we put the tickets out. That's a great event. It's in Shipley. It gets very messy very quickly. We're in talks now with Channel 5 some new programmes. So that's going really good. Filming for YouTube's going really good. I'm starting a new YouTube channel.
A new one?
A new YouTube channel soon, all based on motorcycles and my life around motorcycles, trading, buying, selling, reviews, every single thing.
So that'll be more, like you said, buying, selling channel than a training.
Yeah, it's literally like I've just bought my son a trials bike, so it's getting him to ride on there. New reviews of new motorcycles, what to look for when you're buying and selling bikes, ride out with celebrities, things like that. So that's going to be coming, but that's going to start from scratch. It's called Ben Pearson Rides, but it's going to be on Instagram, it's going to be on YouTube, but I'm going to be reaching it on my own channel soon and then starting to get name drops down and things like that. And last but not least, I'm opening a security company, which are going to be here at Cops and Cars called Homewatch. And Homewatch is not only about alarms and things like that, because anyone can sell your alarm. It's about hard targeting. And it's about telling you how to secure your property and why you are most likely to get burgled. So it's everything from the fields around your house to where you live, to where burglars would come in, to how you secure. It's about that advice out there. So even if you don't do anything with us, on the website that's going to be launched by the time this podcast comes out, Homewatch, it's going to have videos about how to secure your house properly, where to leave your keys, because if your keys for your RS6 are within 15 foot from your front door, you're not insured. It's about Faraday pouches, about keyless entries and everything like that. So it's my knowledge, 19 years in the police, giving back to members of the public. So if you can support Homewatch, please do so as well.
Yep.
And I am just riddled with busyness.
How old are you? 26?
27 now.
Yeah, 27. Now, yeah. Showing.
Young, dumb and full of fun.
Yeah, I'll leave it there. Well, Ben, listen, it's been absolutely brilliant chatting. I could sit here and chat to you all day. So many more questions, but I think we'll potentially do another one, further down the line.
Yep.
We can let people know how the Cops and Cars went. I mean, I know the answer to that already because it's going to be amazing. But yeah, thanks ever so much for coming on, taking the time to chat with us. We'll put links to everything in the show notes below. Thanks ever so much again. Hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll see you on the next one. If you've enjoyed this podcast, please help us out by clicking the like button and subscribing to the channel. It's totally free, and it'll really help us to grow the podcast.